Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Monday workshop. And as always, every Monday we get together with a very experienced meditation teacher who have been practicing for a long period of time. And today we have with us Brother Dev from Boston. He has been with the Baba for decades together, and he's one of the key instruments from USA surveys. And personally, Brother Dev was one of my mentors, the first brother I met after I came into Gyan. I took Gyan in Anubhuti, and then the first center I visited is the Boston Center. And I get a chance to stay with Brother Dev. So that's how I get to know what a brother means. How does it feel to be in the center, Vasi? And then after a couple of months, I joined. I moved into the center, and Brother Dev is very calm, very pleasant, and he's very deep. He has a very profound presence, which makes a difference in whoever is in contact with him. So today we will get to know Brother Dev very closer, because it's our family. This is our confluence age, is our opportunity to get to know our family much more closer, with full awareness, with full recognitions. Of course, we'll be together in Golden Age, but we will not know who we are meeting. And now is the time to get to know each other, right? And we have with us Brother Dev. Without any further ado, I want to invite Brother Dev. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. You can hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Harsha, for your kind introduction. It's certainly nice to be invited to be able to share whatever we have learned on this spiritual path. You know that we are lifelong students. Even though I'm here to share my experience, I myself am a student continuing to learn every single day. And whatever I'm going to share today is what I have learned so far. And there is so much to learn. And I have an aim today. I'm going to learn something from all of you today. And in order for that to happen, we had to interact with each other so that I can learn something from you. Even though Harsha and the family in the San Francisco has invited me to speak, but I would also like to learn something from wonderful family who is here online. So if it's okay with you, we can have few minutes of Baba's remembrance now again. And in that process, if you are able to position yourself in such a way, you can interact. If you're able to turn on your video, great. If you cannot, but at least along the way, keep an aim that you're able to interact and answer the questions or share something, comment. That would really make it much more richer conversation, richer evening. Okay, great. Thank you for those who are giving a drishti through your wonderful face, and those who are able to, please do so. And if it's possible, Harsha, can we have like just 3 minutes of one of the songs, and then we can start from there? Yeah, thank you.
हर दिशा हर द्वार पर हो वो दिवाली, हर दिशा हर द्वार पर हो वो दिवाली। प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाएं, प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाएं। एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं। दिया वो माटी का जो आंधियों से लड़ता है, तू दाता का दिया क्यों मुश्किलों से डरता है। दिया वो माटी का जो आंधियों से लड़ता है, तू दाता का दिया क्यों मुश्किलों से डरता है। ऐसे ख्यालों से जहां को जगमगाए, ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति। ऐसे ख्यालों से जहां को जगमगाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाएं, प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाएं। एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं। आंधियों से लड़ते दियों को बचा ले हम, उम्मीद के दियों को फिर से जला ले हम। आंधियों से लड़ते दियों को बचा ले हम, उम्मीद के दियों को फिर से जला ले हम। आस की विश्वास की ज्योति जगाए, ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति। आस की विश्वास की ज्योति जगाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाएं, प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाएं। एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं। हो उजाला मयस्सर सभी के वास्ते, रहम खुदा का हो मिलने कियों के रास्ते। हो उजाला मयस्सर सभी के वास्ते, रहम खुदा का हो मिलने कियों के रास्ते। हम खुदाए नूर का दरिया बहाए, ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति। हम खुदाए नूर का दरिया बहाए, प्यार का हम ऐसा सिलसिला चलाएं, प्यार का सिलसिला हम चलाएं। एक दिया दुआ का हम जलाएं, रोशनी से दिल का अंधियारा मिटाएं।
Om Shanti. Once one of our senior yogis asked another senior yogi, Brother Jagdish, what's the best way to move along on this spiritual path? What's the best way? How do we have to move along on this spiritual path? How can we have the path that is threading forward, moving forward? And Senior Yogi Brother Jagdish responded saying that one of the main important things for us to move forward constantly on this spiritual path is to create at least one new experience every day. Yeah? To create one new experience every day. In general, anyway, in life, many of us want something new. Anything constantly, no matter what, how good it is. If you're doing the same thing repeatedly, if you're eating the same thing repeatedly, if you're listening to the same song repeatedly, we don't like it, right? No matter how good it is. We want something new in physical sense as well. In the same way, on this spiritual path too, we have to create a new experience every day. And that new experience is actually what keeps us motivated, enthusiastic to be able to keep moving forward with happiness on this spiritual path. So my question to you, are you creating one new experience every day? Are you motivated to create one new experience every day? You know, Baba gives so much of knowledge to us every day. I'm not sure about you, but for me, every morning, the Murli that we hear is in itself something new every day. How many of you believe that? The Murli that you hear every day, even though so many words could be repeated, there may be a lot of sentences that you may feel, oh, I heard this yesterday, or it seems like the same thing. But there are definitely some newer aspects every day. For example, today, as I was reading the Murli, one sentence that caught my attention, there are a few, but this one particular one caught my attention, and I didn't remember hearing that before. I don't remember hearing that before. And that sentence was like this: if you have doubts, anybody want to complete that sentence? If you have doubts, anybody wants to complete that sentence? What that sentence was in the Murli today? Can they unmute themselves, or do we have to unmute them?
They can unmute.
Okay. Anybody knows? Anybody remembers? If you have doubt, what did Baba say? Usually Baba would say, just to give you a hint, usually Baba would say, if you have doubt, you cannot really continue much on this path. Or he would say, it's not in your fortune. Or Baba would say, the intellect is not so clever. But today Baba said something else.
Baba says also, when there's a doubt, there's no Ram, no mercy.
Okay. Normally, let's say Baba would probably have said like that. But today Baba said something else. What did Baba say today?
He said, give up your vices, but don't give up your study.
But
okay. So what was specific about the doubt? Anybody else Want to give it a try?
बाबा ने कहा रूठ कर अगर पढ़ाई छोड़ा गोया अपने पैर पर कुल्हाड़ी मारा.
हाँ, वो ठीक है. लेकिन ये that was so sister said that if you leave the study, that means like you're putting an axe on your own foot. Okay. So today Baba said, thank you for all your answers. Definitely they were all, whatever you all said, they were part of the Murli. Along with that, in this particular sentence, Baba said, if you have doubt, you will develop faith as you progress further. Okay. So that is something new for me, because, if somebody has doubts, what do they say? What can you do? Or you try to explain, you try to convince, but doubt doesn't get cleared. And doubt is there, but Baba's way of speaking to you was something new. If you have doubt, don't worry. You continue to progress. You will develop faith. See, this is different. Normally what we try to do, we try to understand everything. We try to convince ourselves fully, everything all accurately, and then try to move forward. Something on this spiritual path that I felt different is that you won't get to know everything the day one. Yeah, you won't get to know everything the day one. You will be actually given all the information perhaps on the day one, but for you to actually own it, make it your own, you have to start experimenting with it. And that's the progress part. More I experiment, more I use it in my everyday actions, more actually I develop faith and my doubts will go away. So like this, there are many new aspects that Baba speaks in the Murli. So if I were to consider Murli as like the starting point of the day, yes, we have Amrit Vela, but just for the discussion purpose, let's say this way, that if I consider Murli as the source of something new for me every day, then actually we have such a wonderful resource about this. So there is a question here, where in this Murli this point is. It's on the first page itself, perhaps in the first paragraph itself. This point is there, if you refer to it. So we can actually use the Murli perhaps as a source for you to create newness in everything you do. And how you listen to Murli is very important. Yeah, how you listen is very important, because if you want to create something new, if you want to have an experience in the spiritual endeavor you're doing, how you're making effort is important. So listening to the Murli is one of the important efforts. In fact, it is not really an effort, it's actually a pure joy, but then there is some sort of a discipline in listening to the Murli. Even though my own self, I have been listening for many, many years. Even today, if I'm listening to the Murli, I take my notebook and pen, or my phone sometimes if I forgot to get my notebook and pen. So I make points so that I'm able to use something that I want to practice during the day. Yeah. So sitting with that intention that I want to get something from the Murli today, sitting with that attention that I'm able to absorb what Baba is saying to me, and looking out for what is something new Baba is telling me today. Yeah. And there are many ways in actually us absorbing the Murli points. I have seen that, I live in the center here and many souls come for seva. And in a very humorous way, I would ask, okay, let's talk about 10 points from the Murli today. And they start laughing at it. No, brother, I don't even remember 1 point, let alone 10 points. So, but Baba speaks 3 pages of Murli. How come I can't get 10 points out of that? It should be very easy, right? Out of 3 pages, you would probably have 300 points. And out of that, you're only asked for 10 points. So to tell 10 points should be actually, in fact, very easy. But it is not easy because I didn't hear it in the way I should be hearing it. Yeah. So it's important that I have that intention, attention, and interest. That's our starting point. And what you get from the Murli then becomes the source for the entire day in how you use that. You can think of it as a raw material for you to create your product of happiness and whatever you want to create for the whole day. But Murli becomes the means, the source of everything that you would do, whether in service, whether in yoga, or whether in your family affairs, interactions, everywhere, because that is a source. What God has to speak to you every day, He's speaking to you in the Murli. How many of you feel when you have heard the Murli that, I was going through something, and today when I heard the Murli, Baba spoke to me exactly what I wanted to hear, and I found the answer to my question. How many of you feel like that when you have heard the Murli? Yeah, you have felt like that? Yeah. What about those who don't have their Zoom on? You can raise the Zoom hand. How many of you felt like that? That yes, Baba spoke to me, today. This is exactly what I wanted to hear, and Baba knew what I wanted, and I heard Baba saying that to me. Yeah, you see, that means there is something, that magic that happened. That's why it's called the magical Murli. The Murli is magic. God's words are magic because you are able to actually, hear something that you, the soul, need in the situation that you are in. And Baba provides that to you. Yeah. So when you listen to the Murli, it's like Baba is speaking to me. That should be the consciousness. Yeah, sometimes what happens, many times when we're new, these things do happen, that if Baba said at some point, don't get, let's say today Baba was saying, you have to be sweet, you should not get angry. And let's say you have a family member or another BK who gets angry. Then go look, Baba is telling this point to him, that he gets angry, she gets angry, Baba is telling this point to him. No, you should not think like that. Actually, Baba is telling that to you, not to somebody else. Right? That whatever point you are hearing in the Murli, Baba is actually telling you that. Meaning, I have to listen in this way, that every word God is speaking, it's for me. Okay? If you already are a master in it, it's a blessing. You're reinforcing that what Baba is saying. If you have not mastered that yet, there you go. You have a method now because Baba is speaking that to you in the Murli. So in a sense, Murli becomes the source of creating everything on this spiritual path. Okay? So I'm sure you're all everyday regular Murli students. That's great. Now, addition to that are these 3 words. Your intention, that why you are listening and what you want to do with it. that great attention and pure interest. Not to make it just like, okay, you know what, another chore of the day. No. It's God's elevated versions and it carries a lot of weight. Yeah. So that's one thing. Now, when we are on this spiritual path, Baba's knowledge is like the ocean. There are so many different aspects to it. When you come to Baba's knowledge, you may have come from various experiences, or, for example, when I came to Baba's knowledge, I was not necessarily looking for anything spiritual. It just so happened that, I was introduced onto this spiritual path. I was 16 years old at that time. Who would be looking for spirituality at that age? I was not looking for it. But it just, kind of fell in my way, through my friends and things like that. But when I started to actually learn meditation, interact with the members of the family, what I felt was that only after I got the knowledge, I felt what I was missing. Until then, I didn't know what I was missing. I thought I was just a happy camper. Everything was fine, good family. I was always very studious, just studies and studies, nothing else. I was not doing anything else. Always, going to the class, coming back, doing my homework and studying. I used to wake up, even before Gyan, I used to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I used to study 4 o'clock in the morning. I used to get up and study. That's what I used to do all the time. And so student life, there was, family was there, problems were there, but didn't really bother, so to speak. But when I came to spiritual path, one thing, even before meditation, one thing that really attracted me and really made me at home, felt very comfortable, was this simplicity and purity in the brothers and sisters. I felt that they were so simple, so pure. They didn't want anything from me. They had no other intentions, and they were just giving love. And that made me feel, oh wow, I can just be myself here. And I don't have to pretend to be someone else. I don't have to pretend to be, knowing something, I had pretend to be good. No, I didn't have to be all of this. They just let me be who I am. So that actually opened up my heart to be actually learn what they were actually offering. And when I started learning, that's when I discovered, what actually I was missing. Yeah. So why I'm saying this is that when we come, to this knowledge, spiritual path, we may have come for many reasons. Some of us may have come just like that, just how I came, just by chance, or some may have come because you're looking for something in life. You had a situation, you had a problem, and you wanted to heal yourself and you came. Or you may have heard, lectures on the YouTube by different, Rajayogis, and that may have kind of resonated with you, and you wanted to explore more on that, and you came, because of that. So whatever it is, right, we would come from various points of view. That's almost like each one of us joining the highway in different entry points. But when we come onto the highway, we're all together on the same highway. Yeah, we are going together on the highway. Where are we going? Where are we going on the highway? We are going to the same destination. What's our destination? What's our destination? Where are we heading? Why are you listening to the morning Murli every day? Even why are you, listening to this lecture this evening? Why do you wake up early in the morning? Yeah. Where are we heading? What's our destination?
Mukti and Jivan Mukti.
Mukti, Jivan Mukti.
Paramdham.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Paramdham. You want to be in Paramdham? That's nice. You don't have to come back down here. Yeah, that's peaceful. No struggle. Yeah, you want to. That's the aim. What else?
Vishwa Kalyan.
Shantidham.
Shantidham. You want to benefit the world. That's beautiful. Shantidham. You want to go to land of peace. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody saying number 1 position in Satyug. Okay.
Perfect human being.
Ji?
Perfect human being.
Perfect human being. You see, so many wonderful answers. Yes. We have all these, different, we can call as aim and objective. That's why we're kind of heading towards that, right? It's not that we're just here to become, learn something and then just, have another specialty in life. I know some spiritual things as well. Just like, people go to the gym to keep their body fit, and you could also do to keep your mind fit. Yes, that is the starting point, but there is much more. We have in this destination. So wherever we join on the highway, wherever we join, from whichever angle, point in life that you started treading on this path, our aim is the same. The situations that forced us, or the situations that came as gifts, they all brought us to this spiritual path. What's most important thing when you're going on a highway? What's most important? When you're driving on a highway, what's most important?
To keep ourselves
your speed.
safe and others safe.
Keep yourself safe and others safe. And then?
Your speed.
Don't lose the balance.
Balance.
My speed and my attention, which direction I'm going.
Very good. Attention. Yeah. So attention, destination, balance, all those things. When you're in a highway, you're always looking forward. You are never going to look backward. If you look backward, what happens? You know what happens. Yes, don't look back, and also don't get distracted by the side scenes. Why am I mentioning this? So whichever angle, whatever life situations brought us to this path, now we know where we are heading. All the wonderful answers you gave. So if I am heading towards that destination, okay, I'm going to the soul world, I'm going to become the number 1 prince of the golden age. What's important is that I don't want to look back and live in the past of the things that have happened to me, that I have done, or people have done, all those things. They are all true. It may have happened to all of us. But the moment you join the highway, you're going to make a decision. All right. Now I'm heading forward. I'm not looking backward, because that's not going to help me. This internal realization is very important. The reason I'm saying this is, many times I have observed that, and when we look backward, then whatever we are hearing in the spiritual knowledge, in the Murli, in all of these lectures, we're always trying to relate and trying to kind of bring peace to ourselves by connecting back to that experience of the past. It's okay, it will help you, but it's only going to just help us to be here. It's not going to help us to keep moving forward. But you have to move forward, right? That's why you're on a path. You have to move forward. You have to gain new experiences. So using the knowledge with the understanding, you have to kind of, let the scenes past be there. Past is past. And second thing is not to get distracted on the side scenes as well, sideways as well. You have to keep your focus. Yes, you need to know who is driving on the side, that side, but then your focus is always trying, moving forward straight. In other words, you may find other people, it could be your own family members, it could be your colleagues, it could be other even Baba's children doing different things. But your focus is on your aim, your destination, not on those things. The moment I focus on that, on the side scenes, as many times you would hear that word, then I lose a track of my destination. I lose track. So it's important for us to kind of think about this, that am I heading forward? Am I moving forward? Or are my wheels spinning in the same place? Am I looking backward? Or my, eyes getting distracted to the side scenes that are happening in my life? The challenge here is that our old sanskars are so strong that they pull us back, actually. In other words, Baba calls it as Maya. Maya is always waiting to distract you. Yeah. Why Maya distracts us? Because she knows that, you're living and going. So Maya does distract us. But we have to have, our intellect so clear that, no, I'm going to move forward and I'm going to go forward. Okay? The power that is needed to be able to move forward is what comes in your remembrance of Baba, in meditation. Yeah, this is called ancient Raj Yoga. Yeah, the meditation that we do is called Raj Yoga. It is also called as ancient Raj Yoga. That means that it has been there. It is remembered, it is there. And it was there before also. And we are doing again now. So what is it that we have to do when we sit in yoga? How can I create a new experience so that my experience can take me further along on this, make me move forward or take me a far distance on this spiritual path. So it's important that my yoga, my remembrance of Baba is actually good, strong, and solid. Yeah. So the question comes, Baba's every day asks, okay, how much you remember Baba, keep a chart, all those things. We hear those things. So question comes like, how much am I remembering Baba every day? Once we were in Madhuban, a group of IT professionals, and we were meeting with Dadi Janki. And one brother asked, Dadi, Baba says we had to remember him for 8 hours a day. But we don't have that much time. We're all so busy working throughout the day. How can you remember Baba for 8 hours? Guess what Dadi said? Dadi said, 8 hours is an old matter. Baba used to say that because 8 hours is a government office job, office job, and there are remaining 8 hours for home, all those things. And then you have 8 hours free. You remember Baba for 8 hours. Just like those people do 8 hours of government job, in the same way you do 8 hours of this spiritual job. So that's how it is 8 hours. She said, no, that used to be like that. But now you had to remember Baba always, let alone 8 hours. Right? It's even more difficult now because at least 8 hours probably would have been okay. But now that is said, no, you had to remember Baba always. But how is it possible for us to remember Baba always? Yeah, like many times it's easy to say, oh, Baba is in my heart always. I remember Baba constantly. No, but if I am remembering Baba constantly, what is something that would be happening? So, if I am remembering Baba constantly, there will be that shift in my thinking, in my speaking, in my actions, in my behavior, in everything. Why? Why it would be like that? And this is the crux of this Rajayogi meditation, that when you, the soul, connect to God, something happens. That's the second magic, right? When you connect to God, something happens. And that something is that spiritual empowerment. The soul is empowering. And how does it work? You would always hear in the Murli that consider yourself to be a soul and remember me. Yeah? Consider yourself to be a soul. And that's like the main line for, yoga, right? Baba says, apne ko atma samjho, fir mujhe yaad karo. Consider yourself to be a soul and remember me. So, first step is that I had to see myself as a soul or experience myself as a soul. Once I experience myself as a soul, then second step, remembering Baba, is very easy. For me, if I'm sitting in meditation for half an hour, more than 15 minutes of my time would be in experiencing myself as a soul. And then connecting to Baba. Why I am saying this? Because when you consider yourself as a soul, what actually is implying is that you have disconnected from everything else of this physical world. Your body, the past, bodily relations, your job, all of these things. Yeah, in a jokingly we say, many times that if somebody is praying to God, saying, oh God, help me to resolve this problem. So they're actually not remembering God. They're actually remembering their problem. Yeah. In students probably would have, many of you would have done this when you were students, that, oh God, help me to pass this exam. You're not really remembering God, actually remembering the exams, just that God is in between. Right? So because your main thing is you want to pass the exam, just God is you want his help just to get through, but that's it, then no more God. But no, here it is different. Here it is, we may have problem, we may have situation, all of those things, But when you consider yourself to be soul, it means that at that moment, you're actually putting aside that. You're not remembering your situation. You're not sitting in yoga, holding your problem in the mind and hoping that Baba is going to give you a solution. That's not yoga. Yeah, that's not yoga. In yoga, when you're sitting in meditation, when you're sitting in Baba's remembrance, whatever situation you're in, I may be not well, I may not have had a good day at work today, list could be endless. When you sit in meditation, you are actually disconnecting your mind from that. And you may find it difficult to do that because, of course, if there was a lot of investment throughout the day of the mind in those things, it may not be easy. So that we have to find a way, maybe a good song or maybe something different that you would do that would lift the spirit a little bit. So when you sit in yoga, you are going to become aware of your spiritual self. You are a soul, disconnecting from that and starting to experience yourself as that wonderful being of light, pure energy, all the different qualities, one or all of them. And when you are in that state, when you have become soul conscious, it's not that you're going to connect to God. It's as though God is going to connect to you. You know, it is more like when the magnet, when the the metal has become free from all the rust, free from all the dust around it, it gets automatically pulled to the magnet. There's no effort there, but all the effort is actually remove the rust, remove the dust and all the particles around it. When they get removed, there is a natural pull. So when you become soul conscious, there is just a natural pull towards Baba. There is no effort. The real effort is in becoming soul conscious. Of course, there is a different way also of looking at it. Is when you have love for God, then there is no effort in becoming soul conscious either. Okay, so that's also true. But we are now, going in this direction of becoming soul conscious first, and then how connecting to God. So the newness in this is that every time you can take a different aspect of soul consciousness, be it a quality, or be it a self-respect point, or be it your experience of the soul world, whatever it is, right? That we are able to take that, aspect of knowledge about who you are and experiencing that. So we had to create an experience of that. And it does not have to be a long time. If I'm able to even just feel that for a few minutes, that's good enough, because that's going to become a beautiful force for my future experiences. So in meditation, in yoga, in Baba's remembrance, the way to create a new experience is me playing with different aspects of soul consciousness, different qualities. Like there are 7 aspects of the soul. Soul is a point, the form, the where we are from, the qualities, and the sense organs, the subtle sense organs in the soul, and all of these different things. So each of them, you can actually go into an experience of each one of them. And there you go, you will have a different experience every day. You don't have to actually every day say, okay, I'm a peaceful soul. No, you're a loving soul. Or you can have, I'm a resident of the Supreme Abode. It's So different aspects of knowledge can help us to actually create a different experience. Same thing with Baba as well, that Baba's name, Baba's form, Baba's task, his qualities. So there are different aspects, 7 aspects of Baba's personality. I can take each aspect in everyday meditation. You will have a different experience. Yeah. I'm going to pause there for a moment and see if I'm becoming too technical here or if I'm making sense, or if you have any comments or questions, and then I'll continue. Make sense? Doesn't make sense?
So Deba, right now here it is around 7:30. It's a traffic control. I think people are in silence because of that. Maybe it's a nice time to lead it into meditation.
Sure. So shall we take a few minutes of with commentary?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, so let's explore what we just spoke about. Okay. So we're going to experiment for a few minutes, becoming soul conscious. So to become soul conscious, the first step is you relax the body. Relaxing the body is important because throughout the day, various actions and interactions create different stress points in the body. So let us gently relax the body. Releasing any tension or tightness. And as you relax, now disconnect the mind from the things around you or things within that are connected to the past. Perhaps the events of the day to day, or perhaps the things that you had to do tomorrow. Tell your mind, you're going to revisit all of that later. This time is for the self. And now create an awareness. And the awareness is that I'm a pure soul. Just this one thought. I'm a pure soul. Let's experience it. Even I may have impurities within me. My intellect may not accept that I am a pure soul. But with the wisdom Baba has given, originally and eternally, I am a pure soul. I accept this. And with that acceptance, I begin to experience my own inner purity. I see myself as that soul free from impurities, sparkling diamond with no flaws. I'm a pure soul. Stay with this thought. As a pure soul, my thoughts, words, feelings are all very pure and clean. The awareness has power to change old way of thinking. Becoming aware of myself as a pure soul, I'm able to change the thoughts and feelings that are lesser quality. So stay with the awareness. I am a pure soul. Let this awareness create the feeling inside. I accept. Yes, purity is my natural nature. And from this state of consciousness, I connect to Baba, the one who is ever pure. And when I connect to Baba in this way, there is empowerment. The light from Baba goes deep in the soul, empowering and removing any impurities within the soul. Stay with this awareness. Baba is ever pure, and I am in his company. Om Shanti. So when we are able to sit and create an experience, especially in the morning, early in the morning, then one experience, it could be even momentary, right? I could have a blissful experience of, even if it is just 1 minute. Yeah, I could be sitting in meditation in Baba's remembrance for half an hour, let's say, but in that, even if I've had 1 minute of a beautiful, blissful experience, that could be quite sustaining for a long time during the day. And during the day, it's important to remember what my experience was in the morning and recreate that throughout the day. How many of you eat your meals in silence here? How many of you eat your meals in silence here? Okay, I see a few hands. That's very good. Congratulations. I feel that for me, I at least eat, if not all of them, at least one meal definitely in silence. Many times it's not possible because of people around us and everybody's working, busy, and there is no time to talk, so they have to catch up. So things like that happen. So there are times that it's practically, sometimes it's not possible. But still I want to do it. And so, all right, at least my breakfast or one of them should be in silence. And this is a very important practice. Why Baba says, you know this, right? Like on this spiritual path, half your journey, one yogi said once in Madhuban, half of the journey of the spiritual path can be accomplished with a proper diet. Half the journey. That's a big chunk of the journey, isn't it? Half the journey, if you pay attention to proper diet, that means food that is a yogi food that you're eating, cooked in Baba's remembrance, offered to Baba, and eating in Baba's remembrance. All of them included in that. Okay, not just one of them, all of them. Cooked in Baba's remembrance, cooked by a yogi, cooked in Baba's remembrance, and of course, sattvic food, and eating in Baba's remembrance. When you eat the food in Baba's remembrance, then that physical energy, whatever we're eating, however it is becoming, I don't know the science, what happens, who knows, right? But we know from a spiritual point of view, whatever we're eating, the energy of that, because we're in Baba's remembrance, that is going to bring, empowerment to the mind. Our mind is going to receive the power. Our ability to make the right choices, right decision making is going to become sharper. And because we're eating in Baba's remembrance, even if there are, any vibrations that are out there, it was there, all of them also get purified. So it's another way for you to remember Baba during the day, to eat your meals in Baba's remembrance. And of course, for those who cook, to cook in Baba's remembrance. And maybe only half of you cook, half of may not be cooking, but eating, everybody eats, right? So that's definitely everybody, all of us eat. So that's why eating definitely is in Baba's remembrance. And many of us work, and sometimes you probably have to eat while you're in a meeting, phone calls like that. That's why I was saying that you can't help those things, but there are times where you can do it. Before you go to work, after you come back from work, which is the important practice. More you keep your, whatever you do in your day, I just give food as one example, but whatever you do in your day, any action that you do, if you integrate that, using Baba's knowledge,
टाइम हो गया है, ऊपर जाता है.
then that action, that particular work, action of whatever you're doing, that becomes an elevated action because you did it in Baba's remembrance. Right? It could be as simple as you're doing mopping the floor, for example. Okay, to look, it could be a very ordinary action, but I'm bringing Baba's remembrance. That means I'm having the awareness. Okay, I'm doing in the company of God. Even that awareness, and you're doing with seva bhav, because you're doing that feeling, because you're doing with that awareness, that becomes an elevated action. And you could account that as good seva, good karma. You could also account that as you remembered Baba during that time when you're doing seva. Yeah. So during the day, yes, you did the meditation in the morning, but during the day, whatever different actions you do, various points of actions you do, you can actually bring in Baba's remembrance in this way. One of the points that was told to me was that, okay, sometimes during the day we feel bored. Okay, I want some entertainment. Let's go to Facebook, let's go to YouTube, and let's get entertained with something. Yeah, how many of you feel like that? During the day you feel bored. Okay, let's have some entertainment. Do you get Maya entertainment, or do you get Jnani entertainment? Yeah, everywhere around us is a lot of Maya entertainment only, right? For Baba's children, even though we do have a lot of Jnani entertainment also, it's great. We can watch all those things. We can enjoy ourselves using those things, but be careful, because every image that you watch, every voice you hear creates a very deep impression in yourself. Once it goes inside, it's not easy to get it outside. You have to make a lot of effort. That's why the pictures are very powerful. The voices are very powerful. So we have to be careful that how I get my entertainment. I feel many times that if we have the habit of churning Baba's knowledge, whatever you hear in the morning, you want to be curious. You want to be interested. Now, what is it, that it was said in the Murli like this? What is it the sister or brother said like this in the morning today? I want to explore more on that. So anytime you feel bored, you want to actually go back and churn or give your intellect exercise of exploring that concept, what you heard in the morning. That's actually, I feel, a better way of entertaining yourself. And okay, if you are not up for it, you feel, my mind is already so tired, I can't churn knowledge right now. You talk to somebody who churns knowledge and let them tell you what they churned. So in the center here, we do this every morning, that after the Murli, there is, it's completely optional. So everybody, those who want to chant, they stay back and they start talking about really exploring, And it's kind of interesting to watch it now, the process of where all our intellect actually goes with it. And for many people, for many students, that's one way of actually remembering Baba's Murli points throughout the whole day, because it kind of keeps the intellect quite engaging. So really, I feel using Baba's knowledge in churning is one of the best ways to entertain yourself. And let's say you can't do that for various reasons. Then, as I said, you talk to somebody who does that. Let's say you can't do that either because you're busy, you can't afford to call somebody else. Then, these days there are so many songs, music, all those things that can really bring the spirit high, right? Spirit up. So I would default to those things so that we can actually keep our entertainment to pure spiritual, not so much of Laukik. Yeah. So I'm going to stop there and see if there are any questions or comments or question to what I said.
Yeah. It's really beautiful. So now the question is, what or in other words, can you share some of your profound experiences with dadis? Not many of us here had that opportunity to engage with dadis, because that interaction with dadis, being in Madhuban, that atmosphere of Madhuban, which is the Tapasya Dham where Brahma Baba became Avyakt, dadis became dadis, God came there for decades together. And when we land there, what we feel is nothing that people can comprehend. So if you can share some of the moments, experiences that you had there, so we try to tap into your conscience to get the taste of what it feels to have that. It will be a pure joy to meet Baba through Devbai.
Dadi, I will share two dadis. Probably you would not have heard, but at least one of them. Dadi Hruday Pushpa. I'm not sure if you have heard of her, because maybe you have. Dadi Hruday Pushpa was Chandramani Dadi's elder sister. And she was in Bangalore. And I'm from Bangalore. When I came to Gyan, she was there. And recently in Avyakti Parivar, they showed this, her life story a little bit. And she was instrumental in opening this retreat center in there. So in my first interaction with her, as I said earlier, that I was 16 when I came to this Gyan. So that's when I did meet, I met her at the age of 16. When I took Drishti from Dadi Hruday Pushpa, I don't know what she saw in me. She gave me a Drishti for some time. And then she said, looking at the sister who had brought me, the center teacher, she looked at her and then she looked at me and said, "Don't get married." That's what she told me. I was 16 years old at that time, that's all I was. Don't get married. That's what she told me. So, you see, I feel that, I had made no plans in my life. All those things were far off at the age of 16. And you wouldn't be thinking about all of those things at that time. But perhaps she saw something in the future that I have a potential within me. And I feel personally that became like a blessing for me. That my life is dedicated for being here, continuing on this spiritual path. Yes, I could have done like that, like my siblings do. They did all those things. But I felt that no, my life should be for something of this kind. And so my experience with Dadi first was that she gave a long drishti, and then she said this, and I feel that's more like a blessing, that I didn't have to struggle with it. It just came to me as part of my life. Chandramani Dadi, she used to come to Bangalore because of her sister, and also so she used to Dadi Hridaya Pushpa used to invite her. One of the specialties of Dadi Chandramani was that she used to come especially during Rakhi times in August, and she would conduct meditation, bhakti, and it would be so powerful that, for example, if she is giving drishti like this in front, usually what happens is that, okay, you may have seen that, a yogi is giving drishti. So first he's giving to one person, the next person, the next person, and like in a series. But Dadi Chandramani is not like that. She'd be giving drishti like this to one person, and all of a sudden she'd go to somebody else out there, and all of a sudden somebody else. So you had to be actually fully alert. You never know when she'll be looking at you. And you'll be like, okay, you'll be sitting and you can't close your eyes. You have to be, alert. And it's not so much of, what would happen. You wanted to receive the drishti from Dadi because it would kind of penetrate into your heart. And, that was a powerful. So the whole gathering, the atmosphere of the whole gathering would be supercharged. And I had, even today, as I'm speaking to you, it's like the whole scene is coming in front of my mind, that she'll be sitting there and conducting meditation, and we're just absorbing that such a powerful, energy. And so it is so important when you are in a class, when you are sitting in meditation, and if a sister, senior teacher, brother, whoever is conducting meditation, and they are giving drishti, it's very important that you connect. You take drishti, and today there is no time, but there is so much that, it's such an important aspect of our Brahmin life, that we take drishti, we exchange drishti. If like Dadi was giving drishti, but Baba could have been in her and given me drishti too. Very much possible. Baba says he could, he could, if he wants to give an experience to his child, he could do that. So it's very important that we connect through the eye. So in Dadis, that was one of the strongest point. Any Dadi, that we went in front of them, in Madhuban, for example, when my first visit to Madhuban, it was on January 18th, and this was in Shantivan. The new Diamond House hall was built just that year or year before, but all decorated and everything. So after the Murli, Dadi Prakashmani had the Murli. So after the Murli, Dadi Prakashmani, Dadi Gulzar, and Mohini Ben, Madhuban Mohini Ben, they three came out, and we were, we meaning myself and few other people from the party that we had come. So we were all coming, and we kind of crossed each other. So Dadi, she was taller than us, so she kind of bent down to us like this and showing the diamond hall like this. See how beautifully decorated Baba's diamond hall is. Did you see that? She's talking like this to us. like little children would talk, or little, like as if she wants to introduce the whole diamond hall that is out there. Meaning they interacted in such a simple way, in a very friendly way, not like, okay, I'm Dadi, I'm up there, and you're like, no, it was not like, we didn't get a feeling there at all. It was, she's like our sister. Yeah. And that sort of a personality is what makes you feel really, I want to belong here. Right? That this is my family, these are, I want to be like them. I want to belong and I want to be like them. Now, yes, the others are not there, but all the teachers are giving a similar experience. Yeah. So, I saw just now Gita Ben was on here, and then Sister Elizabeth was there, Harsha is here. All the teachers, they give us the same experience because that's what they have taken from the Dadis. Because ultimately it is Baba who is giving the experience. And every Baba's child actually becomes almost like, I would say, a medium for us to gain that experience. What's my responsibility? To be open to actually get that experience.
Om Shanti, brother. This is Anuja. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's already late, but I'll try to keep it very short. So I also work in an IT company, brother. It was a wonderful talk, first of all. I have been hooked on to you, right? So really, really nice revelations we had. So I also work in IT company. So what I have noticed most of the time is that, like you said, we actually empower ourselves, give good diet for soul through Amrit Vela, Murli, and we start the day good. Right. I feel that my stage is strong, at least till say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. But during hectic days, what I have noticed is that I tend to forget my awareness. Like, I'm a soul, I'm just doing this role. Say 3 p.m. onwards, there are so many events which happen in office, back-to-back meetings, work from home. Only on hectic days, I have noticed that I feel depleted by 5:30, like 3 to 5:30 time frame. And then when I come back to my awareness at 5:30, then I realize, oh my God, where was I? So then I go connect with Baba, connect to these Zoom sessions. Of course, I do traffic control. I have been given an answer that traffic control during the day helps, right? Tanuj brother is here. I have asked the same question from Tanuj brother in the past. I do traffic controls probably 3 times during the day. Probably just for 1 minute breaks between the meetings. But somehow I still have this constant problem that 3 p.m., 4 p.m. onwards on a hectic day, I feel that I leave my soul conscious, and I somehow have that 2.5 hour when I don't know what to do. So if you can help me, thanks.
That's okay. Only 2.5 hours, right? Or 24 hours. That's not bad at all.
22 hours is still there.
No, that's so nice of you that you're saying that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are days, even now for me, I do go through those things. What I many times, like for me personally, when there are on-call times where I'm called at odd hours and long days, like you're saying, one thing that I realized is that the more I fight, like reject or feel I'm busy, more it's going to haunt me. Instead, I see that, okay, I'm busy. Let me actually take this on a positive side. So let me create an experience in this business itself. So for example, I'm in meetings, okay? So today, in fact, we were in meetings for a long time during the day because of a big change happening at work. And so my way of keeping my spirituality is to bring humor into my meetings, into my chat. So in whatever way that is, of course, in a proper way, in a spiritual way, not so spiritual because they don't understand what you're speaking otherwise, in a way that people can understand. So when I do that, and when I see people smiling or laughing, that makes me feel that, you know what, actually, I am doing something that is like a service, that is, bringing some sort of a joy in people's mind. I don't feel the busyness at that time. I didn't do traffic control because I was in meeting. And it's not okay, I'll just say, okay, now wait, I'm going to take traffic control and come back. No, I can't do that because it's a long meeting. But in what we are doing, we have to find a way to be able to shift our energy. And my way of doing that was to bring some humor. Okay. So you can see, what you can do, because what happens is that the moment I think, oh, I'm not remembering Baba at this time, oh, I'm losing a lot of energy. No, that's actually a trap. I had to say, okay, this is part of my day today, and I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do something else. Whatever I'm doing, let me bring, Baba in here. So in your own mind, it could be, okay, Baba, come, let's do it together now. Let's solve this problem together. Even that thought that you're going to have will bring the change. Traffic controls are great. You would do that. After your work, you're going to get back to these sessions. That's great. But while in the session, while doing that, it's important to create your own method of bringing that, little peace or love or happiness. So I find that, we all have our own ways. For me, it is a little bit of kind of a humorous thing, to bring a little bit humor into our conversations. And it may be dry sometimes, it doesn't matter. But it actually helps to break the ice. It means in us, it just helps to relieve ourselves from the tension or the feeling of I'm not doing something that I'm supposed to be doing, which is, connecting to Baba and Baba's remembrance. So you're only 2.5 hours, 3 to 5, which is a very small window compared to what could be otherwise for many people. So congratulations for what you're able to do, actually.
Thank you, Deva. It's such a beautiful session, very practical. So if we can wrap up with a nice meditation, we will sleep into that meditation. Thank you.
If that's okay, what I would suggest that we do, Harsha Bhai, is
Sure.
that because I talked about the drishti, that I know only few of you are on the camera, and if more can be on, that's great. We encourage you to do that. If you cannot, it's fine. Is it okay that we exchange drishti for the next 5 minutes? And you can spotlight each one, and whoever is coming on the screen, they will really have this soul conscious experience of looking at this wonderful Baba's child, a soul, sparkling angel. And in silence, let's feel that pure spiritual peace and love, exchange of peace and love. Is it okay?
Oh, that will be beautiful.
So when you are spotlighted, you are in Baba's remembrance, that you are a soul, you are connected to Baba. And in Baba's remembrance, whatever, that your energy, others are able to feel that. You're experiencing Baba's love, others will feel that. So here's an opportunity for all of you to share that your peace, your connection with Baba with others now.
शांत रहे वातावरण। शांति। जीवन शांति। जल थल शांति। पृथ्वी शांति। सृष्टि शांति। शांति। की अभिलाषा। आनंद प्रेम है एक ही भाषा। क्रोध मोह अहंकार जो छोड़े। ध्यान योग से नाता जोड़े। शांति कोई मंत्र नहीं है। शांति कोई जंतर नहीं है। शांति मेरा मन मंदिर है। शांति मेरा ही अंतर है। ही अंतर है। शांति। 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 शांत तन। शांत रहे वातावरण। शांति। जीवन शांति। जल थल शांति। पृथ्वी शांति। सृष्टि शांति शांति जब हो शांति की अभिलाषा आनंद प्रेम है एक ही भाषा क्रोध मोह अहंकार जो छोड़े ध्यान योग से नाता जोड़े शांति कोई मंत्र नहीं है शांति